All right, today what we're doing is we're going to, in 15 minutes or less, drive a series of prompts from my new course to be able to get someone to paying qualified segments and ideally PVP, permissionless value props. Let's dive in. All right, we're going to start with, there's like some stuff I can't show you below here, but I'm going to go take just this company's website, select it, go crazy online, do a deep ICP and persona map for a CRO could basically take a market for this company, and then what we're going to do is click research beta. I'm just using Claude here. I like Claude generally. It's a good, it's a good model. And so, great. All right. Yeah, you should just follow your nose here. Like, go online and research and determine the markets based on what you find online. No, just everything I have below. So go ahead and use your nose again. Go research what their customers are saying. You should make that determination. And I don't know. You should just make that determination based on what you find online. So create an ultra deep, clear ICP persona map that a CRO could use instantly. All right. So we're just going to basically double down on this. Great. Doing a bunch of research. This is helpful. I'm going to pull up my course on the other screen here, and we're going to get the data prompt. And the data prompt is, and by the way, it's like, why using Claude? It's like, I like Claude. ChatGPT research is very, very good. We're going to go then find data for these. Then we're going to see if we can develop some PVPs, and we're going to drop it all into Gemini and come up with some value here. Now, PQS is a paying qualified segment. It's 2 to 5 data heuristics that identify that there is tension in an account. So we're going to find the tension for any brand. Yeah, let's actually, I'm scrolling here on my other screen looking at my own course. Every LinkedIn influencer needs to look at their own work. Great. So all I'm going to do is actually drop this prompt in here that it's data prompt for PVP and PQS. It's just to find really good data sources. So we're going to drop this in and say, all right, now that you have a really clear understanding of this ICP and persona and this category, go ahead and run this prompt for this company. And I'm really just trying to find as much really high quality data as possible. All right, so we're not going to hit submit there, of course, because this is still going. Then I'm going to do is like Google AI Studio. We're going to drop in AI Studio. Gemini is such a great model. They released a new version on the 6th. It's really great. So you can use it here. You can't use it weirdly. Maybe they've switched already, but if you just go to the Gemini link, it doesn't work. So you have to go to the AI Studio. And the nice thing is the AI Studio, literally, you can paste in a million tokens here. It's a little laggy, but you can do it, which is kind of helpful. Once we have the ICP here and Claude gets us the data, we're going to drop this in and structure this. So I've got another prompt here, which is the PQS prompt, the paying qualified segment. And we're going to, boom. All right. All right, so drop that prompt in and go to the very beginning. We're going to talk. So you should now have a really good understanding of this company's ICP and persona, everything about them. You should know what they care about. You should have a really good understanding of who they are. What I want you to do is I want you to run this PQS prospect identification workflow and come up with some amazingly great PQSs for this company. So you're going to have to blend everything you know above, all the notes and all the deep research, and generate PQS options. I'm kind of doing this across models because the models are good at different things. I generally like ChatGPT for deep research. It would take a little bit too long. Claude seems to balance this sources and time really well. So Claude will go spend just sort of the right amount of time doing this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this here. And then I'm going to say context from another LLM chat. And then we're going to say deep research on the brand and data sources. So we're going to have everything here, and you can see this is the total token count. So there's only 3,000 tokens in this, which is like kind of a small amount of information. But what we're going to do is we're going to copy this full thing inside of Gemini, and then we're going to evaluate the results. I'm going to do one more thing. I am, let's see if we can do some great. We are also going to do some PVPs, permissionless value props. So I have another prompt in here. And we're then going to combine the two. So pane qualified segments basically indicates that there's tension in the account, they need them, and PVPs are really designed to send something independently useful to the person receiving it. Let's see how Claude is getting along. Oh, maybe we're going to try one additional thing here. I really am loving the MCP server, and so we're going to do one thing just so you have something to kind of watch. You'll have some fun while we work. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. So we've got access to the Shovels database here. I like extended thinking. This is the Snowflake integration. Generally, I'm going to try explanatory, see if this works. And then I'm going to also copy all of this context while this thing is still working. So I have, I'm doing a little bit of crazy thing. Don't worry about this. All right, can you go and look in the Shovels database? It's your MCP, it's the Snowflake connection here. And go come up with a plan to identify really good fits for this company inside the Shovels database. So go see everything that we have access to, and then go see if you can figure out what the best query is to the Shovels database, and then structure everything that would be really useful for a sales rep at this company to be able to reach out to this company. So write a message at an 8th grade level here with no more than 3 sentences, why you think these are good fits. Do all of the work to query the Shovels database and find good fits for SoilFLO. So I'm sort of multi-threading here, so apologies for that. But I want you to have something fun to look at. So while let's see how this is coming along. Not quite done yet, but boy, 1,197 sources. That's a lot of sources. All right, let's see how this thing goes. Great. It's amazing. Now query the real database that you have access to now to actually do this. All right, so let's permits. You just kind of have to remind it that it can contact the real database. Yeah, great. So it's like thinking now, and then it's going to start querying the database, hopefully. I think you can turn... Oh, yeah, great. I do have them turned on. You kind of have to force... Great. So now when this thing starts shimmering, you know it can access the database, which is fantastic. The nice thing is this will just recursively ask questions of the database. I'm trying to turn this into an API so that I can do this programmatically. Great. So basically, it's like it's like, hey, we got to fix it. We got to fix it. We got to fix it. This is the value of the MCP server, is that Claude is like just identifying the right searches to run. Great. Always allow. No, it's still going. Okay. Great. Soil movement. Florida. Amazing. It's identified good fits. Now, remember, you have to kind of know that these are based on what Shovels has access to, not necessarily the best in the country. Look, 16 grading. Yeah. Okay, now watch this. Okay, this is fantastic. What I want you to do is I want you to actually think, like, go online, spend the time to actually create a more comprehensive story here for every single lead. Ideally, you'll find 10 of the best leads across the entire database. And like, this is all focused on the prospect. Sorry, this is all focused on the SoilFLO. So focus it more on the value and like what you understand about their problems. And ideally, if you can surface some unique insights by combining public web search as well as the Shovels database. Remember, this has to be instantly actionable. So I think the Shovels database even has access to the contractor contact information. So go pull that and create like an ultra comprehensive artifact that a sales rep can instantly use to send just a banger message, and also make the writing at 8th grade level and break up the message here. This is like too much text, and ideally figure out if you have synthesized insights for them. All right, so it looks like the background Claude is still working here. It's kind of nice because this MCP server, oh great, is it done? So while that runs, while this is still going, we'll let it finish. And you can see it's now. I know I'm switching things up here, but it's talking to the Shovels database now and getting some better understanding of each of these companies. And remember, also it can search the web. So the beautiful thing about doing it at this scale is that you can do this at low scale and then reverse into how to scale it up. And so let's 11 minutes. All right, well, let's see how far this thing goes. This is I'm gonna blow past the 15-minute. I don't. This can't go on LinkedIn, unfortunately. Great. Wow. Wow. Previous building official. Wow. Tracking soil movement. Amazing. Not drowning. Wow. I mean, this is like a little too transactional, but this, you can see how this is like crazy useful, right? That you understand exactly this person, 20 years of commercial, instrumental in shaping Austin Skyline major projects. Like it's just talked to all the database, phone number, 14 graded permits, job value. Look at this. This is amazing. So, yeah, what we're going to do is we're gonna copy this and drop it into here. And just explain it. This is some data from shovels.ai. So you might actually want to learn a little bit about them, but you can kind of see that this data has like also some really clear value for this effort. So you can just keep that in mind. This is actual like real research that we did just so that you can keep it into account. So all I'm doing here is I just want to provide the model a little bit more context. And since we, wow, 14 minutes, since we already have that, and let's go talk to the model one more time. All right, I want you to deeply explore all the Shovels database and write like kind of a single dossier of all of the pieces of data in this database that would be really, really useful for SoilFLO. Be ultra comprehensive. We're just going to provide some more information to Gemini so that when it spits this thing out, it can do a great job. Great. So let's talk in the database here to see exactly what's going on. I wish Claude would be like, yo, oh, writing, great. Research is ready. Amazing. Let's run this next. Okay. Fine. This is kind of the value in, wow, this is unfortunate. Let's drop this here and whoa. Do I want the PVP? I think I want to do the PQS first, so let's go do that. I think we just actually wanted to run the data. All right, here's the data prompt. I'm just copying this from my new course. Run the data prompt for PVP research on SoilFLO. We got extended thinking. I generally like to use explanatory. Sometimes it will. Amazing. Great. It didn't say I've spent too much here. We're also going to copy this. We gave that to Gemini, which is fantastic. We're going to add one more piece of context, which is I have my Claude desktop app, which is kind of funny. Oh, look at this. It's talking to the database a lot. This is very helpful. And I hope that, great, yeah. So we're going to actually run some really amazing stuff here. We've just done it in kind of the most complicated way. Amazing. Great. When we get to copy this for ICP, I always have it reiterate the ICP and persona so that it has a really good understanding. Compliance, transportation is great. It's identifying data sources. This is also fantastic. We're going to paste in the great. So it's also, Claude has provided me a very good understanding of the shovels database for SoilFLO. Total permits, total grading permits, total demolition, state level analysis, right? Kind of incredible. So we were able to do this deep dive, and you're going to see more and more of this as these, and you can see, look at this. Now we only have 20,000 tokens. We still have so much more room. So we're going to wait until, oh, this looks like it's done. So now we can paste all this into Google sort of AI Studio and run it. So we're running multiple prompts here, one prompt here, but with all this amazing context. So now Google AI Studio can make sense of this, of a small fraction of the full data. Okay, great. Target persona. Ooh, EPA. Contaminated sites, waste management, amazing. Post-permit overwhelms for, wow, recently awarded multiple significant excavating permits in a high-growth area, is now likely scaling operations rapidly, amazing. Soil tracking process breaking under increased volume. This is great. Let's see if we can get some, these are PQSs. Let's see if we can get some PVPs here. PQSs are just pane qualified segments, but we really want to be able to understand if there are PVPs. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste, I have a whole PVP spec sheet and say, okay, now what I want you to do is have the same sort of format of the PQS above, but develop PVPs here. The full PVP spec sheet is above. So basically we're going to get PVPs, PQSs, and then what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to show this to you, but I'm going to create a proposal. I have a proposal prompt that generates basically a proposal. Now blend the PVP and the PQSs and create a proposal using this prompt. So basically now, like, let's just like look at some of the PVPs. Mid-size heavy contractor in Austin, specialized in bulk excavation, companies and history of successful projects, rapid increase. Yeah, the industry averages. This is where it's really important. You don't ramp up likely means an additional hours of administrative overhead. That doesn't actually work. This is not true. Yeah, these are not PVPs, and this happens all the time. Yeah, this is actually a good PVP. Okay, the first one, the PVP Blueprint 1 is bad because this is about like generally on average. And the PVP Blueprint 2 is amazing, right? This actually impacts them. It's like an actual database here with high reliability. That's valuable. That's a good PVP. So include that in, and just include that one, not the first one. If you can think of any other ones, that's great. And now run this proposal prompt and include like the most valuable PVPs and PQSs. All right, I'm going to stop here. This is my sort of mega secret prompt, the one thing I won't share. But you can kind of see how I basically just took things from my course to do this, with the exception of the proposal prompt. And this is just going to give you amazingly useful ideas, right? The PVP core here, especially for the second one, is very helpful, right? You're actually going to say, hey, there's a new regulation in the last 30 to 60 days. We know it applies to you. Here is the message. Like, here's exactly the checklist. Here's like a one-page brief for receiving soil facilities. Like, our team has been reviewing soil acceptance regulations, has become effective on this date. This will directly impact managing incoming loads. Here's the 2 key changes. They require immediate operational adjustment. And then we distill these points into a key operational checklist. Here's the newest requirement. Like, hey, is this a useful resource to your team? This is a pretty decent PVP message. It's independently valuable. It's about something they probably didn't know about. You've actually structured that value. So, yeah. So this is what you can do if you spend some time. The course is really designed to help you make sense of all this information. Yeah. Sorry, this video is a little weird. I know I kind of went all over the place. But I'm really trying to help you structure the way in which you will talk to these models with my pane qualified segments and permissionless value prop. Let's actually just take a look at one of the PVPs the PQS's pane qualified segment. Gross surge, Austin juggling multiple new sites. Okay. Specializing in bulk excavation or site servicing, they're now expanding. So they have new permits. At the precise moment that existing systems are stressed, means SoilFLO can offer immediate solution. So notice your team has recently conducted several projects. Many contractors find managed soil tracking across I don't know what that word is. Paperwork backlogs. So this is really looking at, again, pain, tension. You're trying to identify tension. This is like a good tension point if they have a they're sort of scaling here where they hadn't scaled before. Updated soil acceptance. Okay, great. Fill sites. We've heard from other site operators that quickly adjusting intakes every load meets new criteria without causing delays. Oh, this delay thing also is really good. Understanding that their permits are maybe taking a long time to close out, and likely because of these new permits, that's really valuable. And you can get the models to search this online, which is really cool. Yeah. So, and you can always say, hey, give me some more options. All right. I hope this is helpful. Thanks for vibing with me. Have a great day. Bye.